History.
Baldwin's in this one.
Start the movement. Start the puck.
Maggie Gyllenhaal?
I believe. I don't know.
It looks
I
like
forget
Maggie
which one's
Gyllenhaal.
which. There we goes. Share. Copy. Good.
Copy, share.
Because we go live.
We always go live.
Oh, yeah.
We go hard.
We go hard. We go hard.
Pardon me. So these are the new "It's Not a Straw" things. It's weird. I mean, it's not a straw.
Apparently, they also have churro ice cream sandwiches.
Ooh.
This place is a dream. Heart emoji. Yes, you too can get at us, and we will comment directly to you.
It's true.
Just follow the links to send now. To the Twitter. Follow us on the Twitter.
To the Twitter.
To the Twitter.
To the Twitter. Twitter.
To Twitter. Done. Alright. So you need this, which is the notes. You need her off your phone.
I was just going to let her know. Podcasting.
So she can listen to us. Because that's the thing that she does. Listen to the doctor, because that's the thing that she does. Let me get the comments up, because that's the thing that I do.
Okie doke.
And comments are up. We are muted. We are good to go.
Let's
Show me the live
roll.
chat. So let's get
China Movie Channel.
Yeah. So let's get
Alibaba Pictures. Look at
recording.
all those co-marketing deals. Hi, everybody. It's the Media Boat
peeking.
Podcast.
You're
Yeah, I do that
peeking.
on purpose at the beginning of every show. Haven't you noticed?
I know.
Hi, it's the Media Boat
I
Podcast.
noticed.
This is July the 25th.
Hi, dudes.
July 25th, 2018. This is episode 126, I believe.
No.
Yes. Was last week 126?
No, we're in like the 30s.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
No, I counted.
Yeah, it is.
It was 126 last week.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
No, we're in the
Oh,
30s,
yes.
dude. We're like 132, I
No,
think.
we're not in the 130s yet.
Yeah, remember because last week I know we went live last week. Yeah, because yeah, we're like the 130s.
Double checking this before
Before we make it
too
official.
far. You were correct.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
where
know.
my brain
I don't know
was.
where you were. You lost like a month there with that prediction.
This is episode 133.
Oh, there we go.
And yes, July 25th, 2018 is still correct though.
Oh yeah, that is the correct date.
In case you're wondering where the Media Boat Podcast is, the Media Boat Podcast is your source for news about movies, television, video games, and music, not necessarily in that order. My name is Matt, and his name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. It was Comic-Con this past weekend, so we got a lot of news to get to.
It was, so we'll roll right into it. First up is your box office, because it's movies. And we always start movies with the box office. So, last weekend saw a face-off between two very different movies vying for number one here.
You had your family-friendly film,
Yes.
Equalizer 2,
Sure.
going up against Meryl Streep cameo in Mamma Mia.
Your adults
2
only.
in a sequel off.
It was a sequel off, and the two, one number at the top here, number one and number two. The only difference between the two is a measly $1 million. Your number one movie just by
I think it was like 1.1
Yeah.
total, but yeah, $1 million basically.
is The Equalizer 2 with a $36 million debut. Coming in right behind it, number two though, Mamma Mia 2 with here we go again.
Here we go
with
again.
$35 million. So
Yes.
neck and neck right there.
Yep, I think that'd make you the winner of last week. I think you said Equalizer 2.
Yeah.
Because that was Mamma Mia, I know that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
We should write these down.
We should write these down.
We should write these down.
Number three, coming in right behind those two, Hotel Transylvania 3 with another $23 million.
That's another sequel.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, yet another
You
sequel.
had another sequel?
With another $16 million add to its total. And lastly, rounding up the sequels, another sequel, Incredibles 2.
Hey, it's
stays
another
in the top
sequel.
5 with another $11 million. By the way, Rebels 2 up to $557 million domestic.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
So it's petering out. It's not going to hit the 600 probably.
Also interesting to note that that number actually is more than the entire domestic run of every other film on that list.
So far.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Incredibles 2 is crushing it.
Combined, I should say.
Combined, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. No, it's just not good.
I guess
also,
so.
that's just domestic. That's not international.
That's not even
yeah.
international.
Yeah.
So that's your box office upcoming this weekend. Your big movie is Mission Impossible Fallout, the sixth in the Mission Impossible series.
See.
Let's see. So it was 1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
then
3.
Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation. So 6.
So
yep, your 6th Tom Cruise blows stuff up and shoots dudes.
Tom Cruise doing his own stunts movie.
So yeah, Mission Impossible Fallout, not that Fallout, is out this weekend.
Yes, not the Howard Fallout.
This isn't a Mission Impossible movie that's in the Fallout universe, although that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
This is a continuation of the last couple ones. Also in theaters, although I feel like in a much more limited capacity. Something for the kids out there. Teen Titans Go to the Movies, a feature-length adaptation of the Teen Titans Go Cartoon Network show.
You would think that'd be a limited release, but no.
It's not?
No, that is a wide release.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, say what you want to say about Teen Titans Go. It's kind of a different kind of thing. It's
whether you like the original Teen Titans
Yeah.
cartoon or the Teen Titans Go reboot that they did, or maybe a new version coming up in this podcast we'll talk
whatever
about.
Variety, whatever flavor of Teen Titans you like. It's something. I don't know. Go see it if you have kids that like it.
I actually ended up watching a couple episodes of Teen Titans Go.
They're fine.
They're fine.
It's fine.
It doesn't deserve the rag that it gets.
No, it's not bad. Some of the jokes are funny.
Yeah.
I will give it that. There's some good joke writing in that show. But man, is that thing overwhelming. It just feels like you're being dogpiled with gags.
It is.
And it's a little much.
It's everything being it's more attacking the audience with its over-the-topness than it's anything else.
Yeah, it's a lot. But hey, it's probably perfect for those 14, 15-year-olds in your life. So, I don't know. Check it out.
Sure, let's go with
If you're
that
a teenager.
Alright, so does that mean Mission Impossible is going to...
Yeah, Mission Impossible is your number one. There's no argument about that. There's no way that it's not. People like these movies.
Yep, it's Tom Cruise. It's Henry Cavill.
Yep.
Henry Cavill's mustache.
Henry Cavill's jerk-ass attitude. Yep, all of it.
Henry Cavill popping a pocket.
Popping a pocket out of nowhere. Yep, that's the deal.
Alright. So, yeah, we'll put this at number one. Safely 80 million.
That sounds about right.
That. 75, 80 million. Check it next week.
Check it next week.
Alright.
Moving on.
Let's get to some news.
Let's get to some movie news. Our first story is the big movie story that was not related to Comic-Con this week.
Even though it did happen during Comic-Con.
But it happened during Comic-Con and caused waves amongst the internet. We're, of course, talking about James Gunn's unceremonial exit from Disney. So,
a 21-gun salute.
Or something. Or execution. Or firing squad, more like it. So, if you did not hear the fallout after this, you may not know that James Gunn is no longer working with Disney and will no longer be the director of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as previously planned.
Although he was not announced as Guardians of the Galaxy 3
everybody kind of figured
director. Everyone figured he would be. So far, all he did was, make 2 films. Well, first of all, he made 2 films that each grossed over $500 million.
Yeah.
And then he turned in the script for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then this news broke out roughly 2 weeks after he turned in that script, which kind of puts a wrench into all those plans of, hey, I'm going to be a director who makes a trilogy in the MCU. Suck it, Joss Whedon. Nope, not going to happen.
Well, so, you're probably wondering why. Well, if you...
I am wondering why.
Are aware of James Gunn, he kind of came up in the horror movie scene, the independent horror movie scene over at Blumhouse.
No, Trauma.
The other guys, Trauma
Films.
So
This was before Blumhouse.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, he's kind of an interesting guy. His history is kind of more akin to the independent scene and some more like, horror movie racy kind of stuff. He was into some weird stuff. And so his tweets from 10 years ago...
you just have to watch his film Slither to know that he's into some weird stuff.
He's into some weird stuff.
Hell, watch Super that he's into with some weird stuff.
So needless to say, in the past, before he was a huge blockbuster movie director, he put some stuff on social media that wasn't that great. Specifically, he made some jokes on Twitter that involved some sexual assault jokes, some pedophile jokes. Not great family-friendly stuff that you would be associating with the Disney brand.
Right, but this was also 10 years ago in a different time. He was also responding to some different critics at the time as well.
So, fast forward to about 2012, some scuttlebutt came out about these things, and he decided to get in front of it and actually issued a public apology for it, saying that he changed and that was behind it.
I believe this came out right when they announced that he was going to be the director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Correct.
And so he did. He came out. He went out, did his whole social media tour. He already purged all his tweets about it as well, because Disney and Marvel.
Yeah.
So this should have all been wiped under the rug. It's all been just gone away, because he did do 2 films with him already. How,
Yeah.
They did their homework.
Right. It's also important to note here that Disney hired him knowing that these tweets were out in the open. Mm-hmm. This was not like something they didn't know about. This was something they knew about, that this was his persona, this was his public, face.
Right.
And it was out in the open, no secrets. So, fast forward to this past week. So, right-wing commentator Mike Cernovich decided to resurface tweets after James Gunn had already apologized years ago. I don't know exactly what capacity. I don't know if it was an article, op-ed or something. But regardless, this guy who has in the past been responsible for kind of trying to dig up stuff on...
Drudge up.
Yeah, drudge up stuff on people he doesn't care for from the past to make them look bad. But he is associated with a lot of far-right folks. Well, he decided to dredge this back up. There was a PR nightmare overnight for Disney. Disney had to do something. So, Disney's reaction, unfortunately, was to completely fire James Gunn from any future work with the company.
So you may be wondering, why did this come up now? Right?
And that's a good question, right?
Yeah, it is. It's because one of James Gunn's friends, recently part of the quote-unquote liberal Hollywood media, got into a Twitter war with someone from Fox News, and James Gunn went to defend him.
Right, yeah. Of course.
Yes. As you do, because you're your friends.
Yeah.
And this resulted in, as aforementioned, right-wing media elite to basically drudge this up and pull double standard on Disney for Roseanne. So
one thing to note about this, a lot of people were, of course, mad about this. A lot of people like James Gunn, like his work, like his current work with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yep.
And he seems like an upright guy. It seems like he's atoned for his past. He isn't making those jokes anymore. And he did publicly apologize. But a lot of people were very quick to say, as you kind of pseudo-mentioned, that it does kind of present as a double standard, especially if you see it from the perspective of the right wing.
Right.
You see people on the left very clearly shouting out people who are making offensive jokes, especially on Twitter, and trying to get them removed from their positions as a result. One person on my Twitter, though, post that I follow, posted something that I feel like is very incredibly salient point here, is that there is a big difference between what people on the left are doing here and what people like the Cernovich guy is doing. And the key difference is, one is seeing people who are doing things right now that are offensive, posting things currently that are inappropriate for their position, and also running something prominent and trying to get them removed from their current positions. Right. This, on the other hand, is going back into someone's past, a past that they've publicly apologized for, and trying to get them fired from what they're doing now because of that. There's a bit of a difference there. Now,
there's about a 10-year difference there.
Yeah, about a 10-year difference. But I do want to say I'm a little still on the fence about it. Like, I still think that, yeah, I mean, a public apology is fine. I don't know how much I feel about, like, are we 100% sure that this is not who this person still is? Like, do we know? Like, I like what I've seen of James Gunn's stuff. I'm not here to say that I'm not on board with him or if he's a good guy. But I also don't believe that we should be too quick to say, oh, no, he's a saint now either. I think it's important to see, like, to balance the kind of two sides and to have a conversation about what it is to be on social media at all. And, like, what is the importance of making sure that you're using it correctly and using it intelligently while you're a public figure. Because there was an article a couple weeks ago that was really interesting. I forget what website posted it. I think it was The Verge. But it was basically somebody was talking about, like, how at this point in 2018, everyone is a public figure. Mm-hmm. Like, it was about basically this woman who was on a plane or something. There was a picture of her that was posted to social media. And people started attacking her. She doesn't even have a social media account. And basically it was saying that even people who do not choose to put themselves on the internet now are public figures. And this can happen to literally anyone. And so, yeah, it's a crazy world to live in where, like, anything, literally anything you can say, whether it was 10 years ago or 3 seconds ago, can be found and used against you potentially. It's scary.
It is.
It's really scary. But, yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation nonetheless. I think it's good that it's happening now. I think that this, of course, is a really bad example, like I said, because of the time difference. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I personally hope, it looks like there's, you mentioned here that there's a petition right now that has about 200,000 signatures that is to get Disney to rehire James Gunn. Whether or not that succeeds, usually these petition things don't go through.
Right.
But it means that Disney hopefully sees the outcry here, and maybe in the future, I don't know about James Gunn, I don't think they'll rehire him. But I do think that they will consider in the future what the sources are dredging up this material.
Yeah.
And whether or not to treat it as credible or not.
Yeah, sum it all up, Disney got played.
They did.
Disney got played hard by the right wing.
But like if you're in PR, though, and if there's a fire, you want to put it out.
Right, you want to put it out immediately.
Yeah, so it's stuff like that.
It's what you do. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's also something that you have to get in front of as a big corporation, especially when you're dealing with Marvel, arguably one of your current biggest properties that you own.
I was scrolling down to your video game news to see if you had something, but it kind of does remind me of that story that was all around last week about the journalist that got fired from ArenaNet.
No, I don't know.
But it was a very similar kind of thing where she went off against a fan that was having an argument with her on Twitter about some sort of game design element. The people in charge of ArenaNet basically overnight fired her.
No, okay. And
it was very, very quick, without any sort of conversation had with the employee
at all. Conversation, due diligence, anything like that.
Yeah, not at all. And so it's stuff like that is happening now more and more, where employees are not getting the time to defend themselves. But yeah, it's all connected. It's a weird time to live and work, but Disney should have been smarter about how they went about this for sure.
Yeah, I think more of a suspension. Let this thing blow over and then announce it and people will be cheering.
Yeah.
Rather than just immediate firing.
Yeah.
All right. But we digress. Moving on.
We need to move on because we got Comic-Con to talk about.
Yeah, actual Comic-Con news
last
to talk about.
Last weekend in San Diego, the International Comic-Con, the San Diego one, the most famous, the most big.
Yeah, when you say Comic-Con, this is what you think of.
This is the one. This is the one to Comic-Con to rule all Comic-Cons. Well, it happened. So, here's the big giant list of what happened. First up,
for the be advised, this is for movies.
Yes,
we will have TV first. Later in TV news.
We'll get there. For movies. So first up, DC and their universe premiered new trailers for Shazam.
Boom.
Shazam. And Aquaman.
We knew those two were coming. They showed screenshots before it. Empire did the big spread on Aquaman. So we knew these were coming. Both look good. Shazam's taking a more comedic take on the whole superhero aspect, a la Deadpool, whereas Aquaman It's Aquaman. There's a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
You can't do that movie without CGI. It's unfortunate, but it looks good. I mean, superheroes, get excited.
Yep, get excited. Next up,
some Jason Momoa for girls to drool over.
Jason Momoa. People love Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa's abs.
That's true.
Or his arms. I forget which one they like.
All of the above, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers. While we're talking about Warner Brothers has also premiered trailers for Alita: Battle Angel. That is the anime adaptation that was criticized when the trailer came out with those giant eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're still giant.
Still sucks.
But still directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yep.
Still by Lightstorm.
And also Godzilla King of the Monsters, which actually looks pretty rad.
Yeah. So you remember, 4 or 5 years ago when Godzilla first premiered at Comic-Con, and all you had was the Halo jump of them jumping into the guys going to the city with the red smoke, and then Godzilla. I got the same kind of chills, but in a different format. It wasn't as simple.
Yeah.
It was, but it did show a lot more monsters in this, which is what I wanted to see. A lot more of the predominant kaijus that Godzilla is known to fighting, and it's definitely a bigger film.
It's
which is what
Mothra
you
in
want.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
So is Garuda.
Yeah.
And the triple-headed. But yes.
What you want.
I survived Comic-Con 2018 from afar. Also Aquaman, hearts.
Hearts.
Hearts for Aquaman.
So hearts for Aquaman.
But yeah, Godzilla is the new Godzilla trailer, Godzilla King of the Monsters, is probably the best trailer to come out of Comic-Con.
Yep. And lastly, for Warner, new trailer for the upcoming, in 2 weeks, Harry Potter universe, Crimes of Grindelwald.
That's November.
That's November?
I want to say so. I don't think it's August. I
thought it was coming soon. That is the Johnny Depp helmed sequel to...
No, that's Eddie Redmayne helmed.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. That's Jude Law. All right. Both those characters get more prominence than Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but they're making the biggest deal out of Johnny Depp, unfortunately.
I know you are.
No, they are. Disney is with the promotion.
No.
Sorry, I keep thinking Disney for some reason.
Yeah. Because Disney owns everything.
Warner's making a big deal about Johnny Depp. That's your sequel to Fantastic Beasts and where they are.
Yeah, so it's weird. The first movie is called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
The second film,
Beasts.
The Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
It's
just the Fantastic Beasts trilogy.
Fantastic Beasts. They're in there somewhere.
Yep.
So you know what that is. If you want to see that, you'll see it.
Harry Potter magic. Or wizard magic, I guess.
Moving on to some smaller companies here and some smaller things. So Funimation, the anime localization company, premiered their trailer for Dragon Ball Super: Broly, which I guess is a feature.
Yes, this was the feature we were talking about, how they were going to do how Akira Toriyama was going to do a new Dragon Ball Z film. Yeah. Pulled all the people to dedicate to this one film. Everyone thought it was going to be a new Super Saiyan. Turns out it's just a Broly. Which, funny enough, Broly was only a quick concept sketch before it was turned into a film by Akira Toriyama. So, for the 3 Broly films that are out there, he had no involvement into them other than, here's what I think he would look like.
Yeah.
So this is him actually making a film dedicated to it, and animation looks great. I'm excited for this one. It comes out in August, as we previously announced, and excited.
All right. Speaking of animation, Marvel showed off some Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is the animated crossover Spider-Man movie.
Right. This is the multi-Spider-Man animated film by Sony Animation.
Well, 3 new names have been added to the cast. So, get this. Nicolas Cage will be in the movie as Spider-Man Noir. A noir Spider-Man.
Yes, a black and white, super moody Spider-Man.
Yeah. Also, Shamik Moore will be... I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, that's right.
Kimiko Glenn will be Penny Parker.
Yes, that's the world where Peter Parker was a girl.
Okay.
So it's Penny Parker.
Penny, I get it.
Yes.
My favorite of these announcements. John Mulaney as Spider-Ham.
Yes.
Is Spider-Ham a pig?
Yes. So
is Spider-Ham different from Spider-Pig?
I was about to say that. Yes.
From the Simpsons.
So from the Simpsons movie, which everyone is pulling this from, Spider-Pig.
Spider-Pig.
That is not
Spider-Ham.
what we're referring to as
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham
is a different
Spider-Ham
Spider-Man.
is an actually one-off Spider-Man comic book
Pig.
where a pig got bit by a radioactive spider and turned into Spider-Ham.
I'm excited for that. I just want to see John Mulaney talk out of a pig's head.
Yeah.
It just sounds hilarious.
It does.
I want to see that so bad. And now we get to the casting we knew about. Shamik Moore will be Miles Morales, Jake Johnson as Peter Parker.
Yes.
And Haley Steinfeld, because she's in everything, as Spider-Gwen.
Yes.
That's, I understand, is from the universe where Gwen, what's her name, is...
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, is Spider-Man.
Yes, Gwen Stacy gets bit instead of Peter Parker. Spider-Man is from Spider-Man, and Miles
Spider-Man is from Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is Peter Parker gets bit, and Miles Morales is
the more recent
iteration when they rebooted it as someone from Brooklyn.
So yeah.
Technically Peter Parker is from Brooklyn, but more recent Brooklyn, not like 60s Brooklyn.
So there you go. Those are your movie news from Comic-Con.
Yes, Spider-Man movie sounds confusing. It is.
It is. So moving on to other movie news that happened this week. First up.
Oh, we're out of Comic-Con.
What?
We're out of Comic-Con?
Yeah, we're out of Comic-Con for now. We'll be back in in TV. But for now.
Yes, that's everything that was.
Moving on to other movie news outside of Comic-Con. Tell me, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about cats?
I'm a dog person.
I mean the musical Cats.
Uh-huh. Oh.
The musical Cats?
I don't know. Jog my memory.
It's got cats in it?
No, other memory.
It's got memories in it?
Memories? Only in the moonlight?
Yeah, memories. Anyways, the musical Cats, one of the most long-running shows in Broadway history. In fact, you have the one here for the 4th.
Yes.
Thank you for that little fun fact. Is getting a theatrical release, a movie adaptation.
Again?
This will be directed by none other than Tom Hooper, who was the director of the Les Miserables film adaptation.
Yeah, where they filmed on set.
Yes.
Starring Huge Jackman.
Huge Jacked Man.
Russell's Crows.
Russell's Crows.
Yes.
And of course,
Sacha
Academy
Baron Cohen.
Award-winning Anne Hathaway.
Oh, yes, Anne Hathaway, who comes on for 10 minutes and then
walks
away with her Oscar.
Hey, she deserved it, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is set to star some crazy stars. This is going to star, get this, Taylor frickin' Swift.
She's back making movies?
Taylor Swift will be in star as Bombalurina. Jennifer Hudson will be Grisabella. Ian McKellen as Old Deuteronomy. And James Corden as some other character. Not listed here. So, are we excited for Cats, the musical?
I'm not sure, but I think this means we get Jennifer Hudson singing Memory.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Nice plug there. Yeah, that could be okay, right?
I think Grisabella sings Memory.
I don't know a lot about Cats, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the only time I ever saw it was I think they were doing a version of it on PBS. Probably 10, 15 years ago. But I can't tell you anything about it. I don't know a lot about Cats. But yeah, so that's some star power there. So that would be pretty interesting when that comes out.
Yeah. This is Andrew Lloyd Webber, right? Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Yes, Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote Cats.
Right.
So yeah, that's
all right.
Huge hit.
So,
we'll see what happens. Moving on to our last story in film, our continuing. Following the story about the Fox Entertainment assets. So, the newest news about this, Comcast has dropped their pursuit completely. They will no longer be purchasing the 21st Century Fox assets, and they're ending their bidding war, thusly, with Disney. However, they are still in the running to acquire Britain's Sky Network, which is 39% owned by the same Fox. Disney currently is at an offer of $71 billion cash stock options, while Comcast only went up to $65 in an all-cash offer. Disney expected to lay off 2,300 Fox employees and 1,700 of their own should the merger go through. While most of the layoffs will be in HR and legal, crossover.
Yeah, crossover. You can't really double.
But there will be some top executives that will merge. They'll be merged, and others let go. This is what happens every time. It's kind of the
right. It's you whenever you merge, you automatically double up, so you don't need it.
That being said, this is not necessarily confirmed that this is happening quite yet.
No,
it has to go through a few more layers of legal stuff before it's finalized. So we'll let you know when that happens.
Right, but this does mean that essentially for 3 months of mysterious spying power. Fox was able to get an additional $20 million from Disney out of this. I think that's roughly what they gained.
Yeah, something.
50 to like 60 or 50 to 70.
Yup.
Yep.
All right.
So I think I don't want to say that Comcast that was like urged by Fox to do this, but it sure did sound like it. Especially when they first went after this, well, they dropped out. Why are they back into it? I think this was part of a bidding war because you get more money out of it.
For sure. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if that was what happened. This is just me spitballing here.
I think you might be onto something there.
It does sound kind of fishy.
You want to play people against. It's like a bidding war.
Right.
Yeah, it's like any bidding war. Or you want to play your suitors against each other, so that way you up the price.
Right. I also think that this may have been Fox's dealing with, hey, we'll slide you over Sky. We'll make those a lot simpler if you help us over here.
Yeah.
Legal department stuff.
Yeah, smart.
It's fishy.
It's fishy, but it's smart.
But
smart business.
This is just talking out the ass here.
Yeah.
Making my butt jealous.
Of course. All right.
Jealous.
That ends movie news segment.
Yes.
Did you see any movies?
I did see a film.
Okay, what did you see?
I saw Warrior again.
Warrior. Oh no, not The Warriors.
No. It's on Hulu. It's a sports movie about MMA fighter Tom Hardy and his dad Nick Nolte training to win the basically Bellator MMA competition style.
Yeah.
It's a nice premise. It's a great movie. I like it. It tears up in the end because...
Manly Man tears?
Manly Man tears because brothers.
Yep.
Brothers are involved in this thing.
Yep.
Joel Edgerton plays the brother. And they meet and fight. And Tom Hardy gets his arm ripped off, which is always nice to see. But I've been meaning to also watch I, Tonya.
Yeah.
At some point.
That'll happen.
But no, I meant to also go see Three Identical Strangers, which is playing at your limited release theater. It's currently got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's this mystery about literally 3 boys who, while in college, find out that they are identical twins, or triplets, I guess.
Okay.
But then mystery ensues as they try to figure out why this happened to them. Who would do such a thing? Blah, blah, blah. Mystery. Documentary style. Check it out. I've been meaning to check it out. It's been the past 2 weeks at my local theater. I'm going to get to it eventually. But in the meantime, I'm probably going to watch Mission Impossible this upcoming weekend. Because that's the big movie out.
Yep, probably.
Yep.
All right. Let's
go to sports.
To television, and we always start television with sports. And speaking of Manly and Man Tears, the ESPY Awards happened on ABC, courtesy of ESPN, and it's one of your favorite things every year because of how much. Well, 1, it's about honoring sports, and 2, how many Manly Man Tears are shed.
Yes, a lot of Manly Man Tears were shed. Congrats to the U.S. Women's National Hockey Team for winning Best Team. Congrats to Tyler for winning Best Play.
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles for winning Best Play. And congrats to... I don't know, you never ended up watching it, did you?
You did. So you can spoil it though.
All right, I'm going to spoil it for you. All right, so first off, congrats to the women for winning the Arthur Ashe Courage Award.
Right.
Arthur Ashe Award for Courage.
Yeah.
The reason this wasn't involved with one person, but rather a slew of women in the gymnastics community who came out against the doctor.
Yes.
Who sexually assaulted these teenage girls while he was under their care. It's a big story, and when they were doing it, at first it's like, okay, they keep showing like the same like 4 or 5 girls telling the story. All right, so it's just gonna be those 4 or 5. No. They literally fill up the whole stage with women who came out against this guy.
That's cool. Yeah.
And it's unfathomable because like while as you're watching the promo for it's like, okay, we get like, okay, this is bad. I'm glad they spoke out. It's just these women. No,
it's all
the women. It was awe-inspiring. I mean, they literally closed on this note because it was that big.
Yeah.
Danica Patrick hosted this thing, and that's about.
She tried, but
you know, as with most hosts who don't do Comedy Go, 3 out of 5 work.
Yeah.
Or 3 out of the 5 jokes.
Yeah,
land.
some of the jokes worked in that monologue, some didn't. It seems like she just isn't a great host. Let's be honest. I think she's potentially has some acting ability that she showed off in the little skits they did. But the monologue, I think she proved she is not a host.
Right.
She just doesn't have that charm that you need.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely YouTube the Arthur Ashe Award. Yeah. It was like mind-blowing, to say the least.
It seemed like a cool thing for them to do.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the ESPYs. They gave out a couple other awards. One was they gave out the Coach of the Year award to a non-professional coach. Okay. But rather the 3 coaches at the Parkland shooting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. That was really cool. Nice. Yeah. The 3 coaches, the athletic director, the football coach, and the cross-country coach, who sacrificed their lives during the Parkland shooting. Yeah. And then the Pat Tillman Award for Marines went to former Marine who started a relief fund. Yeah. And basically helped Marines, people in the Army, people in the service, that's better said, people in the service who come back and need to reintegrate into society by helping them rebuild, literally not only rebuild their lives, but rebuild other people's lives who have been lost in natural disasters. Yeah. Yeah. That was really nicely done. Overall, the ESPYs are a great show. You can always fast forward through the skits and get to the important stuff. Or, YouTube it. It's always fun. Manly Man Cheers will be had.
Manly Man Cheers. All right. Let's move on then. Also in sports, NFL training camps are now open.
Oh, yes.
And players are starting to report.
It's football time, guys.
Just about.
This is literally the last week without football. It's here. It's finally here. I mentioned this because next Thursday, I'll mention this again next week, but next Thursday will be the Hall of Fame game. That will be August 1st, I think? 2nd, 4th.
Next Wednesday.
Thursday. Yeah, so 2nd. Yeah, next Wednesday is the 1st. So yeah, next Thursday, this August 2nd, will be the Hall of Fame game. Where they induct everyone to Canton, and then they play a little scrimmage that doesn't count for anything, so nobody gets hurt. Which means your superstars will play one series, and that was it. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be fun. And then we get into some exhibition games, some preseason. Oh, it's August already.
It's happening. Next week is August.
It's August, guys.
Get ready.
All right, gear up.
Gear up.
Yes, football is here. Without football games. But, football is here.
But soon. All right, let's move on from sports into pseudo-sports with the WWE.
Oh, they're athletes.
Yeah,
they're athletes.
It's still a super sport. The WWE is about to make history, though, on October 28th, as they've announced their first ever all-women pay-per-view event called Evolution. It will feature the women of Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, and their UK subsidiary, as well as a couple of Hall of Famers. The announcement was made with WWE VP of Talent Triple H and WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon on Monday night. They said that you can expect to see the best of all their brands. That includes Ronda Rousey,
that's right,
who's now in the WWE umbrella.
Yes.
Charlotte Flair, I guess related to Rick.
Daughter of Ric Flair.
Rick. Okay. Yep. Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks. Not that Sasha Banks. Carmella, Nia Jax, Asuka, all these people that I have no idea who they are. Plus, you'll get to see Trish Stratus. Lita will be there. I don't know who that is either. And you're going to see some legends. So somebody who knows more about wrestling, you're probably a lot more excited about those names than I am.
A couple of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ronda Rousey and Alicia Flair.
Sure.
Are the two highlights there. I think you'd probably see Stephanie McMahon also getting in there as well. But yeah, this is exciting. It's an all-female first time. There's actually been a campaign that's been going on for the past 2 years about the divas, or the WWE divas, to not only get their own highlights, but also their own big fights during WrestleMania. And now, because of that, this past year with WrestleMania, their own show or their own stage to get out there and perform. It's going to be big. It has to be big. This has to land. And I think they have the right people there who can make it happen. Yeah, so let's... that's all I got to say. This is going to be in October.
So yeah.
End of October.
So wrestling fans, look forward to that at the end of the year. Next up, here is our big Comic-Con drop for television.
All right, so more Comic-Con news.
First up, a follow-up, I guess, of sorts to last week's story where people are inexplicably giving Joss Whedon work. Here's another one. He's involved in a reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because of course he is. He will be executive producer of it with writer Monica Awusu-Breen, who is apparently has written for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She will be the showrunner. The reboot will have a black actress in the titular role. So, a brand new Buffy.
Black Buffy.
Potentially
when asked about why not bring back Sarah Michelle Gellar and company, they basically said, we like to move it in a new direction and keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I don't see Joss Whedon having a big influence in this thing, mainly in name only, but you never know. He could put his hands into it.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah.
I just wish that he wasn't involved, but what do you
I know your feelings.
Yeah. Moving on, somebody else who maybe hasn't had the greatest last couple of years. George Takei will also be making a sort of comeback. He'll be making a graphic novel about his childhood internment camps titled They Called Us Enemy, and it will be released by IDW Publishing.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, when George Takei was 5 years old, he was put in an internment camp.
As with his family.
With his family on American soil. This is during World War II.
Yes, it was during World War II. As part of his history, he's been very vocal about it. So it'll be interesting to see kind of that an adaptation of that work.
Yes. No word on how many issues this is, but it will be graphic novelized this coming fall.
Now, next, a really positive story that came out of Comic-Con.
Sorry, they can't all be powerful.
That involves nobody who is potentially problematic. In fact, it's great for a very progressive portrayal. So, Supergirl, the television series, is adding a new character. And it's their first ever on-screen trans superhero, played by an actual trans actor. It happened, guys.
Caitlyn Jenner?
We did it. No. Oh. Nicole Maines will be starring as Nia Nal, a.k.a. Dreamer, whose power is precognitive abilities. She can predict and prevent the deaths of her teammates. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So
it doesn't say here when she premieres on the show, but I'm guessing next season.
I assume next season.
Sometime next season.
Yes.
All right.
Was there... I don't remember if I put this. Was that more DC news?
No.
No. Okay. So, we're going to sidetrack here from the news.
Okay.
And talk about Titans.
Okay.
So, also from DC, that's why I'm sidetracking here. Titans is the story we've been following about the new DC UDC Universe online streaming service, which finally got a price point of $7.99 a month, $8 a month.
That's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. That's about right for it. They don't have a whole lot of content that people are going to go for immediately, so got to put that low, got people in. But yeah, Titans premiered online, and people were shitting all over it. Like, very hard. I mean, they had Robin literally kill a guy. Blood was spewing everywhere. They made Raven super emo and one-dimensional. They didn't even, like... They showed Beast Boy in a scene, and that was it.
Oh, boy.
And people are just, like, wondering what the hell this is. And literal debates on... Is gritty too gritty?
Yeah.
And have we had enough of it?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of been the critique about all the DC Universe stuff in the last, like, few years, right?
Yeah.
Is, like, why is it so dark?
Well, they got rid of Smallville, and it started briefly with Arrow being a little darker than normal. But then they started to go with Gotham, and that was super dark. And now this, which is basically very much a blackened set.
Yeah.
Everything's pretty much at night. So yeah, it's weird. It's dark. Also, people on the internet were complaining about Starfire being played by a black actress, even though Starfire is an orange alien.
Right? Who cares?
Who cares?
At that point, right? It's
yeah.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Internet.
The internet's gonna internet.
Yes, internet's gonna internet. People are gonna complain. It's going to be. Hopefully it's okay. This is one of the projects from DC that I want to work. I just don't know if it will anymore.
Yeah.
Just from the first trailer, I don't know if it will. They're steering hard into the gritty darkness, and it may not work as they want. But back on track to Comic-Con news.
Back on track to Comic-Con news. Sorry, I was watching those people fall into mattresses.
I know.
It's hypnotizing. Moving on. Also at Comic-Con, we learned about the return of Star Wars Clone Wars.
So this was a surprise by everyone.
Yeah, big surprise. So, as you might have known, after the Disney buyout of the Star Wars franchise, the storied Cartoon Network Clone Wars series was ended. I believe it started on Cartoon Network, ended up on Disney XD or something.
No, it started on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Then it went to Netflix for
Netflix.
1 or 2 seasons, and then ended in 2014.
But yeah, it notably got canned when Disney announced that they were replacing it with the Star Wars Rebels series, which had some carryover characters from that universe.
Yes, carryover characters, but most importantly, the whole team was carried over because the art style visualization was pretty much the same.
But at Comic-Con, they announced that the original Clone Wars will return with a limited run of episodes that will tie up loose ends and will premiere on the new Disney streaming service.
Yeah, so if you want people to get to that streaming service, this is a great way to get to it.
Yep. So the fans of that show, and I know some personally, like my stepdad, will be way into the fact that show is being brought up. So, cool.
Yeah. If you ask people going to Comic-Con if they thought this was going to happen, they would say, no way, you're joking, haha, good one. But no, this is real.
Yep.
This is happening. Real. And we all know this will happen, this will premiere in 2019 when the streaming service comes out. Still yet to be named, still yet to be price point.
Yep.
But already got a lot of excitement towards it.
Sure does. All right, wrapping up the Comic-Con news for television, our last couple of stories involve Cartoon Network. First of all, Steven Universe fans were surprised with a brand new episode that was shown at the con. Thankfully, Cartoon Network put it up also on their app and on-demand services the day after, so that way everybody could see it. It was a big episode, lore-wise, so they've been doing a lot of those lately, and this was another one.
Yeah, they just got done with a big lore drop, and now they do one of the hugest reveals in the series.
Yes, but most importantly, this is set up for the other thing they announced for the franchise, which was a film. A movie, a feature-length televised. It will not be theatrical, as I had. It was originally reported to be theatrical. They took that back and said no.
No, it's just a movie.
It will be a Cartoon Network film, like they did with the regular show finale film.
Right.
That was just on the network. That's how they're approaching this. But it will, a feature-length episode, I guess, of Steven Universe is in the works right now. No word quite yet on when it will premiere, seeing as they said that this episode is a setup for the film. I would bet that this is a thing that premieres by the end of the year.
I would think so.
Yeah.
They just basically wrapped up with season 5, I want to say.
Yeah, we're it looks like we're towards the end of season 5 as it stands right now. But yeah, a film could wrap everything up in a nice little package. It could be fun because it could have a bunch of new songs in it. It looks like one character that is new to the franchise will have a very significant role in this. So that's exciting to look forward to. So yeah, I'm thrilled.
Now, question: do you think this ends Steven Universe with the film?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
You think there's still more stories to tell?
I think there's more because I was reading an interview where they're talking about that they've had the ending on a document for since the show began.
Oh, so they know how it's going to end.
They know how it's going to end. They've basically been slowly revealing things on that document as the show's gone on. Yeah, they even posted, one of the writers was like, I'm going to post this stuff that we've already covered on the show just so you can see with the stuff we haven't covered yet still blacked out. And it was there was still a pretty large amount of stuff blacked out.
Okay.
So which means that not only do they have a way to the end, but we don't know a whole lot.
Still. So there's still a whole lot more that they plan to get to.
Exactly.
And seeing how Steven Universe is one of their biggest properties right now, I think they will get to all of it.
So I'm excited. But one of their other properties was also featured. You don't have this written down, but I wanted to mention this because I thought it was cool. The sister show of sorts to Steven Universe, OKKO Let's Be Heroes, also announced their own little special announcement. They will have a special crossover episode.
That's right. You told me this.
This crossover episode will be between not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah.
It will, of course, have the characters from OKKO. It will have Garnet from Steven Universe in it. It will have, I believe, Raven from Teen Titans, from Teen Titans Go. Sorry, not the original Teen Titans.
Right.
From Teen Titans Go, and it will have Ben 10 from Ben 10.
From Ben off the air for a while now.
So yeah, it's no word on exactly what these characters will be doing and why they will be doing this with each other. But the creator of the show, Ian Jones-Quartey, on Twitter was very quick to say that he wanted to do something like this since he started the show, as an homage to back when Cartoon Network used to do crossovers of their shows all the time.
You mean Hanna-Barbera was...
No, he specifically referenced more recent stuff than that. Some stuff I missed out because I wasn't watching Cartoon Network at this time. But he specifically dropped I guess they did a crossover between Kids Next Door and Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy at some point.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, apparently. He brought that up. I didn't know that was a thing, but people of a certain generation probably will remember this. A little younger than us, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he wanted to specifically... do something like that with his show. And so it's neat. I think it's neat. I love crossovers, especially when they're done well. I like OKKO, so I'm excited to see where this goes.
Aren't they also in their second season only?
They are only in their second season.
Right. And they're already doing a crossover episode.
They're already doing a crossover. Well, consider all the crazy stuff they did in their first season, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
The show, there's no rules about that show, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah. That's a crazy show.
It's a crazy show, but it's great. All right. That is it for the television Comic-Con drop.
I think that is everything for Comic-Con drop. Or at least everything big that was announced.
Yeah.
If I'm missing something, please leave us a comment. Tell us what we missed.
Please do. Moving on. Our last story is not a great one either. Speaking of people who probably shouldn't be getting their jobs back as soon as this.
You're missing one.
Remember Chris Hardwick?
You're missing one.
I am.
You're missing one.
I am.
You are.
Okay.
Before we get to Chris Hardwick,
let's do this one and then end on the other story.
All right. So not Chris Hardwick, but Ajit Pai.
Like I said, let's do this one and then end with the other story.
All right. So let's
get this over with.
Let's talk about this.
So yeah, speaking of people who shouldn't get their jobs back as soon as they have, Chris Hardwick is going to be back on AMC. Yeah. After the internal investigation into allegations by actress and ex-girlfriend Chloe Dykstra of sexual assault and emotional abuse, Hardwick will unfortunately return as host of Talking Dead when the post-show returns on August 12th. In case you were wondering what happened in the meantime, Yvette Nicole Brown had taken over the moderating of several panels for Hardwick at Comic-Con. And she will still host the August 5th Walking Dead Season 9 preview special, and will be a guest on that August 12th premiere of Talking Dead when Hardwick returns the chair. A return date for the weekly talk show, Talking with Chris Hardwick, has not yet been determined, as the series would not be due to return until next summer. The quote from the network is, following a comprehensive assessment by AMC, working with Ivy Kagan-Bierman of the firm Loeb & Loeb, who has considerable experience in this area, Chris Hardwick will return to AMC as the host of Talking Dead and Talking with Chris Hardwick. Quote, we take these matters very seriously, and given the information available to us after a very careful review, I want to highlight and bold and italicize those words.
After a very careful review?
Yes. Given the information available to us part. Including interviews with numerous individuals, we believe returning Chris to work is the appropriate step. They don't mention who was interviewed, they don't mention the individuals there, and they don't mention the information found. Obviously that stuff is not public, and I get that. But I don't know if I follow this. I don't know if I agree. I'm not AMC. I'm not in a position of power at that network. I just think it's a little shaky ground. But I think the guy still sucks. But you know what? Television's gonna television.
Yeah, but I think that people are going to, unfortunately, blow this over, not care as much when it comes back on, and just be glad that he's back. I hope whatever.
I hope not.
Yeah, you hope not, but you know that's what's gonna happen.
This sucks.
You know that's just it's just gonna be TV's just gonna be TV about this.
I was just hoping that they would find somebody else to do that show. It's not hard to talk about a show.
Well, it is.
Other people could do it.
I'm sorry. Do you want to talk about the Walking Dead?
Hell no.
The Walking Dead.
I don't know, but clearly Yvette Nicole Brown did. Just give her the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
It should just be hers. All right, moving on. Then, lastly, our last story is technically the darkest story on this list.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Dark, but this one could be worse.
Yes, as much groaning as Matt has done so far.
The FCC have made me groan more. They have voted unanimously against this. Oh, sorry. This is actually good news.
You didn't even read it.
I assumed it was bad because it involved our fun family at the FCC and Sinclair.
So this just proves to you that I do all the news stories and Matt doesn't.
Yeah.
I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah,
I knew that was going to...
Well, then good. We get to end on a semi-happy story, which is always what I want to do.
I know.
The FCC has voted unanimously against the Sinclair Tribune merger. Woo! And has sent the deal into deal purgatory. Technically, the Commission adopted a hearing designation order that refers the merger to an administrative law judge, where these deals usually don't survive. Mm-hmm. So there you go. So
the FCC is basically taking it out of their hands and sent it to what is essentially a special court to determine if this merger should go through or not. Most likely, if this happens, they will find something that says, no, we don't want this to go through because monopolies.
This is probably a good thing because, it looks like all signs point to this thing being dead in the water.
Yes.
Tribune will not merge, which means that the Sinclair guys won't be able to expand their evil empire.
Yes, and guess who was the most pissed about this happening?
Who?
Our president.
Oh, I bet.
That was the only reason I found out about this, because our president was tweeting and raving mad about this.
Of course he was.
Otherwise, I would not have... This story would have been swept under the rug, which I guess what they were hoping for. Probably still will happen. But, it's now, head news for us. Also, it's the brief head story on Deadline for 2 hours before Comic-Con news surged back into the news. But FCC will probably end up striking down that merger deal.
Good news.
What does this mean for Disney, though?
Guess we'll find out. All right, let's move on.
Even though we've previously reported that Disney has already been talking with
at least some of the.
Yes, some of the judiciary committees for governmental agencies for part of this merger. But hey, this may throw a wrench into those plans.
All right, let's move on then. That is done with. We are done with television news. That's it for TV. But we move into cancellations and renewals on TV. First up, as you just heard, Star Wars Clone Wars was back for a 12-episode 8th season on the currently unannounced Disney streaming service.
Yes.
So we'll have more info when that launches. Marvel's Cloak and Dagger will get a second season ahead of its first season on Freeform.
It is currently in its first season. I think it's only aired like 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay,
maybe 5. But yeah, congratulations on a second season.
Colony will will not get a third season, will not get a fourth season because it has been canceled after its third season on
Boom.
USA.
Done.
Man in the High Castle will get a fourth season on Amazon.
I'm surprised that it's still running, considering that the premise is 1, based off a book, and 2, they figured out what was going on in the end of the first season.
Yeah. Sci-Fi will renew Winona Earp for a 4th season. Yellowstone will get a second season over at Paramount. So those are your cancellations and renewals.
Yes. Yellowstone is the Kevin Costner.
Yes.
I'm a Rancher.
He's a rancher.
TV show.
Moving on to deaths, we have a handful here. First up, not Tony Soprano, but Tony Sperano, age 56, who was a football coach for the Cowboys, Raiders, and the Dolphins.
Most famously for the Dolphins, more recently. Sperano, done.
Yeah.
That was a sad one.
Yeah, it's a sad one. That's young. 56?
Yep.
It's nothing. Speaking of young, John Schnepp, age 51, an animator, filmmaker, and a voice actor for Metalocalypse, Space Ghost, and The Death of Superman. So.
He was the director for multiple episodes of Metalocalypse.
Oh, that's
and then also for the Death of Superman Lives, the documentary about the Nicolas Cage Superman.
Oh, got it. Okay.
He's a documentary filmmaker as well as a voice actor.
That makes sense.
So he died.
Okay.
But that's a good film if you guys want to check that out.
Yeah.
It's directed by Tim Burton.
Yeah. I should probably see that.
Yeah.
That's always been a fascinating story.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Death of Superman Lives is a great documentary. Definitely check that out.
So crazy. And lastly, age 100, Shinobu Hashimoto, a screenwriter of such famous Japanese films such as The Seven Samurai and Rashomon.
Yes. Those 2 films are considered instant classics. Are they in the... no, not Criterion, because they're Japanese.
Yes, but they are.
But they are Criterion.
You can get Criterion copies of those movies.
Okay, so you can.
But yeah, I'm sure in lists of greatest movies of all times, those 2 movies will be pretty high.
Yes.
Kurosawa? Kurosawa, the director of those, of course. But yeah, they worked together. They were partners in film. And yeah, this guy wrote a lot of those famous screenplays. So
yes, if you want to know where Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and all those guys got a lot of their techniques, watch those films.
The Japanese masters, man.
Yeah,
it's fascinating to look into. I recommend you watch The Seven Samurai at least, or Rashomon. Rashomon's interesting. That one's the one that started the whole same story from different perspectives thing that a lot of other films have done since. But it's the first one, and it does it really well. So check that out if that sounds cool to you. All right, let's move on. Out of the television cancellations and renewals and into music. We start with
time for the Billboard.
Billboard charts. Your Hot 100 list this week is topped again by Drake with "In My Feelings." Number 2
is Drake. Number 2 is Drake.
No.
Drake back to back. No.
No, 2 is I Like It by Cardi B. Number 3, Girls Like You by Maroon 5. Number 4, Nice for What by Drake. And number 5, Booed Up by LMA.
Oh, but what?
LMA. Booed Up by LMA.
But boo?
Booed Up.
As in, this is my boo, my girl?
Yeah, I got booed
up. My shoddy?
I got booed up. Yeah.
No. I reject your teen slang.
Are you going to explain teen slang to me?
No.
All right, moving on to Billboard 200, which is your album chart. Number 1 is still Scorpion by Drake.
Of course it is.
Number 2, debuting at number 2, Rolling Papers by Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, he is.
Rolling Papers. Number 3, Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone.
Still
number 4, Question Mark by XXX Tentacoin.
Tentacoin, Mr. Tentacoin.
And number 5, Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B.
Do you think it's weird that Tentacoin has more hits now than he did when he was alive?
I mean, it happens a lot.
Yeah, but this is like going on a month now.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for the Billboard charts. What's on the list for this Friday?
What am I going to listen to this upcoming week?
I don't know what you're going to listen to, but here are music that's coming out.
Okay.
First up, Boz Scaggs with Out of the Blue. Cody Jinks with Lifers.
Is-
Daughtry.
I think Cody Jinks is country or American Idol?
I don't know. I
All
don't know who Cody Jinks is. Daughtry with Cage to Rattle.
Yes, that
New
Daughtry.
Daughtry album.
Best defenseman in the league. No, that's Dowdy.
D. Snyder with For the Love of Metal.
Yes, that D. Snyder,
That's D. Snyder.
Twisted Sister.
Face to Face with Hold Fast. Hailstorm with Vicious. Israel Nash with Lifted. Kenny Chesney with Songs for the Saints.
There's what I'm listening to, that new Kenny Chesney album.
Yeah. No Better with It Felt Like Glass. R.L. Grime with Void.
Now, is that different from... That is Grimes, right?
No, R.L. Grime is not Grimes.
R.L. Grimes and
Those
Grimes are two different artists.
Those are two very different artists.
Okay.
In fact, don't get confused. R.L. Grime is not dating Elon Musk.
Okay.
Scott Danbaum with Scott Danbaum, self-titled. Shadow Party with self-titled Shadow Party. And Tony Molina with Kill the Lights. All right.
Movies. Music news.
Music news. A handful of weird stories. This week. First up, Vicky Cornell, the widow of Chris Cornell.
Yes, the late Chris Cornell.
Has commissioned sculptor Nick Maris to create a life-size bronze statue of him, of Chris Cornell, dog tack with his signature boots, dog tack, and long locks. A statue will be erected on August 29th at Seattle's Museum of Pop Culture. The announcement comes on what would have been his 54th birthday.
Yes.
Oh.
It's also It's also happens to be the 1 year anniversary of Chester Bennington's suicide.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yep. Cool. Interesting. I'm kind of curious how they're going to do the wavy locks in
bronze.
Bronze.
Yeah.
Also, is this going to be outside? Because I think it's going to turn green immediately in Seattle. I hope it's inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Congratulations, I guess posthumously for statue. But yeah, he's a big influence, especially in Seattle music, grunge music.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
All right, moving on. Our next story is a sad one. Everybody, get your I don't know, Kleenex out because this is a tearjerker.
Is it?
Demi Lovato, former Disney star, current pop star, has had a complicated history with substance abuse.
Former American Idol judge, I believe.
Yeah, at some point, I want to say.
Yeah, I think she was on that one. No, she was on The Voice. I think she was American Idol.
American Idol, or one of them. But anyways, she's had a history. If you know anything about Demi Lovato, you know that she has a history with substance abuse, which is related to a history of depression and mental disorders. She is not altogether and hasn't been for a very long time.
She's also very open about this as well.
She's very open about it. A lot of her music has been written about the fact that she struggled with sobriety. She's written, in fact, a song called Sober, which came out last month.
Not to be confused with Pink's Sober.
Yeah, very different. But yeah, it's and she has always been very upfront with with her interviews, with talking about her relationship with both her mental health and her substance abuse history. But we had all thought she was fine. But just on the other morning, we found out that the singer was rushed to an LA hospital after suffering a heroin overdose. She was transported by ambulance from a home in the Hollywood Hills before being treated with Narcan, where paramedics found her unconscious. Demi's aunt, Carissa Dunn, posted that she is awake and responsive following this. She has fought substance abuse for years, as I mentioned. She said she was 6 years sober from alcohol, cocaine, and OxyContin. So this was
I don't see heroin on that
big
list.
Surprise that she had gone to such extremes in her personal time here. Of course, we hope that Demi gets better. Substance abuse is something that takes hold and it's very hard to let go. We hope that she gets the help that she needs in this dark time. All right.
I got nothing.
You got nothing to say about this?
No, I have words for Demi Lovato's like career and all that, but not here.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's definitely rough.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to someone who's had it even rougher.
Oof, yeah.
You could say.
Speaking of rough, R. Kelly, who's been rough basically since he's existed, in the public eye, he just does not know how to handle himself. Well, he's released a new song. His new song, I Admit. Yeah, that's what you want to name your song if you're R. Kelly.
I did it.
No. Yeah, if I did, it's the If I Did It of songs.
I know.
Is a 20-minute long plea, which is not surprising considering this is the dude that gave us Trapped in the Closet.
Yeah, but Trapped in the Closet was like episodic.
Yeah, also super long.
Yeah.
And Partial Confession, in which he addresses the decades of suspicion and accusation that he is a sexual abuser who targets young black women and girls.
But he is.
He is. He tried to explain himself through him being illiterate and a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and how he has a lot of problems with his life, you don't say. He also goes over his canceled shows, his financial hardship, and his tainted legacy by calling out some of his haters, including John Legend, Tom Joyner, and journalist Jim DeRogatis, who has been reporting about the abuse since 2000.
Yeah, 18 years this guy's been on R. Kelly's case.
I mean, yeah.
And that's like since he came onto the scene, right?
His response to allegations that he is imprisoning young women, where he asked the questions, what's the definition of a cult? What's the definition of a sex slave? Go to the dictionary, look it up, let me know, I'll be here waiting. Alright, R. Kelly, I'm going to answer your question right here and right there. The definition is whatever the hell the girls that are your victims say. That's the answer to that question. Anyways. Let's move on.
If he wants the answer, look in the mirror. That's what it looks like. Open your eyes. It's literally right in front of you.
Yeah, so much for that.
Yeah. But, to be fair, he hasn't had the worst yet.
Yeah.
This whole year of people who are just terrible in music.
Right. Nope. The last story is the big final story. I hope.
This has to be the final.
This has to be it.
This has to be the final because it's literally
the
sentencing.
Probably the most fascinating story about music from last year has followed into this year. Remember Fyre Festival?
Yeah.
Well, the SEC announced that Fyre Festival's Billy McFarland and company have agreed to settle charges arising out of the fraud for over $27.4 million from 100 investors involved. McFarland induced investors to entrust him by fraudulently inflating key operational financial metrics and success of his companies. That was all legalese for he tricked people into giving him money.
Yep.
Basically by telling them how much money he was going to make. He used investor funds to bankroll a lavish lifestyle, including living in a Manhattan penthouse apartment, partying with celebrities, and traveling by private plane and chauffeured luxury cars. They settled without admitting or denying the charges.
Yeah.
Which usually happens with a settlement. That's why you do a settlement, so that way you don't have to admit wrongdoing.
Right. But, when you settle, it basically means, sure. I did it.
Yeah, but whatever.
I don't want to fight for it.
Let's give you the money anyways.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that's it.
That
got his comeuppance
it.
in a way. He had to give up a bunch of his money. Hopefully this means that we'll be seeing the last of this guy. Maybe?
I would think so. Maybe he's got another scheme cooking. Look out for Billy McFarland coming to a Fox show near you. Oh, no, that's Seth MacFarlane. Never mind.
Wrong McFarland. Also, this is a McFarland.
McFarland.
Very different.
Yes, Farland, not Farlane. But yeah, this finally closes the chapter on what was Fyre Festival. It's going to be an interesting footnote in music history now that we have an actual conclusion to it. Doesn't go anywhere from here, but it's just something fun to talk about whenever people can talk about festivals. Like, hope it doesn't end up like Fyre Festival.
Nothing else will. Nothing ever will.
No, nothing ever will.
Stupid. All right, that does it for music. Did you listen to anything this weekend?
Yes, I listened to some really old playlists.
Yeah, we didn't listen to anything new. I did too, but it's super small. I won't really mention here. All right, let's move on then to video games.
Trying to think if there are any new singles that I listened to, and I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not this weekend.
No, because I mentioned a lot of stuff last week with Magic Dragons and a couple other artists.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on then.
Move on.
To video games. First up in video games, what are your new releases for this week? Well, it's a big week for Switch owners. You have a bunch of stuff heading towards you this week, including the Banner Saga 3 that will also be on PlayStation 4.
Yes. If you missed Banner Saga 1 and Banner Saga 2, I hope they're out there somewhere. I have no idea.
They're on there somewhere. Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2 will be coming to PlayStation 4 and Switch as well. No Man's Sky will get a complete patch on all its existing platforms and will also finally be released on the Xbox One.
Yes. I think it has been a year or two for that game, so its time is up.
But yeah, if you're somebody who has already owned it, though, you'll get a brand new free patch that will have a bunch of new features, including the long-promised multiplayer mode.
You're right.
Where you can team up with friends. It will also have some other changes. I'm not sure. I can't rattle them all off for you now.
I think there's also like a diary mode as well.
There's a bunch of cool new stuff. So if you liked No Man's Sky, or if you wanted to check out No Man's Sky and never got a chance, this is the game that they promised in the beginning, it sounds like. There's a lot of cool stuff that they've done to it since. I'm going to jump back into it and try some next week. I might have to reinstall it. But besides that, yeah, it'll be cool to jump back in. I actually really like that game. It's a good, relaxing game.
Yes. I know you liked it a lot. You just turn on a podcast and then
just zone out to it. All right. Moving on. Our first story in... Oh, wait, sorry. That's not done with the new releases. I didn't finish. Next up, Candle, The Power of the Flame on Switch and PlayStation 4. I hope you play as a candle.
I think you do.
It'd be great.
It's a 2D side scroller.
That just reminds me, remember the series of skits on Animaniacs with the candle that was always around during important events in American history?
Yeah, I remember that.
I hope you're that candle. I'd play that game. Also, Train Sim World for PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Hello Neighbor for Switch and PlayStation 4.
Yes, this is the Hello Neighbor that has been in beta and delta, whatever the release is.
Delta?
I think so. On
What's
Steam.
a delta?
Literally, I say that because it's been on Steam and has gotten like several like releases and patches and updates over the past year. And this is finally the official game coming out, the complete official game.
Official.
Yes, console, not only console game, but also like PC and everything.
Got it.
But yeah, Hello Neighbor.
Hello Neighbor.
It's creepy. It is one of those creepy games where you're like, am I sure I'm playing this right? Yes, you are. It is that effed up.
Weird. All right. Good to know. So check out Hello Neighbor.
It involves the devil.
Satan.
Yeah, actual Satan.
Actual
Satan.
Real Satan.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to something not about Satan. First up, Amazon has announced...
Oh, so other Satan.
Yeah, one of many Satans. Amazon has announced a new program that allows you to buy gaming PCs and PC components in monthly installments with no penalty to the buyer. There's now an option to purchase a $2,000 PC with 5 monthly payments of $400 rather than pay it all at once. Payment plans will apply to laptops, desktops, tablets, monitors, computer components, drives and storage, memory, networking, and computer and tablet accessories. The only downside is that the program is flexible and will withdraw the payments to the card attached. I'm sure, as most of these kind of payment plans are, they're probably based on credit. So if you if you're interested in this, you might have to prove something.
You would think that.
Yeah.
But no. No.
Interesting.
No. You just have to be a Prime member.
Interesting.
And a credit card attached to it. It has to be a credit card, no debit card.
Okay.
That's the only caveat.
It
has to be an active credit card attached to your account. Yeah. Other than that, it is still limited items, but it is big ticket items.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that anybody who has a credit card that can take a monthly $400 payment could probably also just afford to buy a $2,000 PC.
Probably.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. But I'm sure that person is probably capable of both of those things.
Yeah, but this is their way of skirting around that and basically allowing a wider option for buyers.
It sure has the illusion of affordability, but not actually in practice.
I mean, sure. I mean, would you rather pay $2,000 or $400?
But it's not just $400.
I know, it's $400
$400 for 5 months.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah,
all right.
It is.
Let's move on. Our next story is about fighting games.
So every year, the fighting community gets together for EVO.
Yes, EVO 2018. The official registrant count for EVO 2018 is in. And for the first time since 2008, Street Fighter is not the #1 game. And the first time in its history, the #1 game is not by Capcom.
Yes, this is important. This is news. Important. This is amazing.
This is Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah.
Because that is the new leader's... I believe it's Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yes,
is the new leader at 2,500 registrants, just about. And Street Fighter V came in second with just 2,421 registrants. So a new king of fighters. That's a fighting game.
That's a fighting game.
Has been announced here. So yeah, interesting stuff. People like that Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, people like it. We've yet to play it, but from everything that I've looked at, and especially with the fighting community that I follow,
from what I understand,
they love it.
From what I understand, if you want a game that has 7 Gokus in it, this game has 7 Gokus in it. There's a lot of Gokus.
Sure.
It does!
I know.
It's weird.
That's how you want to put it.
How many Gokus do you need? This game has all of the Gokus. Think about a Goku, this game has it.
Not only that, but it's constantly being updated
with more Gokus. I think they just announced another Goku. I am not kidding. This is not a bit. They keep adding Gokus. Alright. Next up, Nintendo has continued their long storied reputation of taking down ROM sites. If you're not familiar, ROMs are games that play in emulators. They are the raw data that runs a game in an emulator on a PC or on a smartphone or something like that. Well, you have to get those ROMs somewhere, and ROM sites LoveROMs.com and LoveRetro.co have recently been filed a lawsuit against from Nintendo. They face millions of dollars of potential damages. As you might have guessed, it's because the games are copyrighted.
Yes, they use the actual games. These aren't like reskins. No, they're actual game data.
Yeah. They also, and this is a big no-no, they sell proprietary BIOS software. If you've ever messed around with emulators, you'll know that even the less seedy emulators, the more common ones, the more popular ones, will require a BIOS to run. And what this means is it needs an identification number from the console that it originally had. And if it doesn't have that BIOS number, then you can't run the games, because that's how the game company knows that you're running an official copy of its game. Mm-hmm. So the more seedier emulators will sell you a BIOS, basically a clone of the BIOS of the original system that runs without you having to own the actual system. So that's an extra no-no, because at that point you're not only violating copyright for each of the games you're playing, you're also violating copyright of the very console that you're emulating. So it's a big, big legal no-no. They also, of course, use trademark logos and characters in their marketing of these games. While some ROM sites have maybe hobby products, small things that are for friends. What?
Blocking your face.
I'm blocking my face?
Yeah.
Not from my perspective.
Yeah, because now you're looking at it. You only go like this. And this doesn't play on podcast, but...
No, it doesn't. No one's watching this.
Clearly not looking at your face either with the iPad and you're blocking your view.
But yeah. Some might be hobby projects, like, I'm going to host some stuff for my friends or for a small group of people who like this very niche game. But Nintendo says that's not the case for these sites. They say that apparently these guys are very big professional operations that actually make a profit from Nintendo's works.
Right, so and that's where they have the problem.
Yes.
With making a profit.
So that's why they are requesting damages of $150,000 per infringing, property.
Yes.
And up to $2 million for each trademark infringement. With over 140 copyrighted titles and 40 trademarks on record, the damages could total up to $100 million. Since the lawsuit, as you may have guessed, they just waved the white flag, and Love Retro and Love ROM sites have both been shut down.
Yes. Funny enough, those are not the sites that I used when I did this.
Oh.
But I expect that one to also go down eventually.
Yeah,
but that was also a free one.
The only time I ever thought about emulation.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time that I wanted to get into PlayStation 2 emulation.
Oh.
And I downloaded a PlayStation 2 emulator, and then it asked for the BIOS, and then I was like, I don't know what to do. And I Googled it. It was like, oh yeah, here's some ways to get a BIOS clone, but we warn you that this is going to take you to some seedy places.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, bail out. And so I just deleted everything and just bailed.
Yeah, see, I never went to that extreme for emulations. The furthest I went to was for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games.
Those are easy.
Stuff that you can easily do on a PC that you don't need an actual controller for.
Those are easy to the point they're so easy that you can straight up get those on your smartphone by the Google Play Store.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even kidding. There are just emulators up there all the time.
Yep.
For Game Boy games. So if you want to play Game Boy games, you're covered.
Yes.
But just be careful where you're getting them from. They also have a reputation of carrying viruses and Trojans. So make sure you know where you're getting your stuff from. Trust your sources. And yeah, maybe support the smaller people and not the giant companies that want to make some money.
Like Nintendo.
Just you know what I mean. If you're going the illegal route, just be smart about it.
Yeah. If you're going the illegal route, you better do your research of where you're actually getting your stuff from. Yeah.
I mean, I don't recommend it for like popular stuff. I do recommend it if it is a game that's very hard to find, and if it's a game that's been around for a long time and that has been inaccessible in a lot of ways. For example, if there was a game that came out only on the original Game Boy and you can't play it anywhere else, then sure, yeah, emulate that game. It's probably fine, and probably no one cares. Just don't go out and try to get like, I don't know, Final Fantasy 15 to run on your PC or something.
Nah, see, when I emulate, it's been like strictly for Pokemon games.
Yeah, Pokemon games.
Or Pokemon. It's what allowed me to play the originals, Gen 2, and then up to Emerald.
Right.
I think, 3. Yeah, I didn't go like black and white past that because you needed like stylists to do that. And I was like,
yeses.
No.
All right. Yeah. Let's move on then. So yeah, it is what it is. If you're gonna emulate
smart. It did allow me to play the Minish Cap though.
Minish Cap's a great game.
It is.
I
haven't played that.
I own a copy of that, and I own a Game Boy Advance. If you just want to play the Minish Cap, you have a actual legal way of doing that.
Oh no, I already finished that.
All right, yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, I have my 3DS if I want to play that stuff too.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Moving on to our last story in video games this week. Let's drop in on Microsoft, see what they're doing. They're planning to attend Gamescom in Germany next month, and they're teasing the announcement of what? New hardware.
This is going to put this under the big banner of rumor, and sure you are.
Well, this follows some weird comments that, of course, they made on the show floor at E3. They did say that their team was hard at work on working on whatever the next Xbox is. They didn't say what it was, and they didn't say when it was coming out, but they said they had a team that was looking into it. So, they will be holding a live stream for, quote, new features, news, and an all-new Xbox hardware and accessories on August 21st. Probably won't be a new console, but rather maybe a new bundle for the Xbox One or a new accessory of some sort. Current rumor is that the Elite successor or controller, similar to the customizable controller that was known as the Elite, may be announced here. I also might posit another option here. I think that this would be a time for them to get into the streaming business. There has been a lot of talk since E3 about Microsoft's comments in interviews around the show and how they wanted to make sure this was around the same time that those VR quotes came out about how they weren't going to do VR on Xbox One anymore. Apparently in the same talks they also said some stuff about how they did have teams working on looking into streaming the ability to stream games. And since Sony is doing it too, Microsoft might use this as an opportunity. If they do have hardware that could basically just be a streaming box, this would be their time to do that.
Well, let's see. I mean, Sony, when the PS4 came out, had a dedicated stream button, a share button. With Xbox, not so much. However...
Well, they do that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the Microsoft equivalent to PlayStation Now.
Oh, PlayStation Now.
Streaming video games.
Oh, streaming video games.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about here.
But isn't
I could imagine
the Pass?
I could imagine. No, Game Pass is not streaming. Game Pass is you download the individual games. The pass just gives you the ability to download them.
Okay.
No, they have, currently speaking, Microsoft has no streaming service like Now on their service. This would be a time where they could either announce just that, or what I'm thinking that they're going to do, a set-top box that is a streaming thing. And they'll do a Game Pass service for that, but do streaming instead of download.
Okay.
I could 100% see them doing something like that, and now is a good time to do that. It could also be their kind of set-top box. Microsoft doesn't have a set-top box like Amazon, Apple, Google, all of them do. Microsoft doesn't have an equivalent to that.
Does it need it though?
I think it's a thing that they don't necessarily have a horse in. I mean, they could put a horse in that race in this way. Put the Xbox branding on it, have it play into streaming current and past Xbox titles, and put like a $99 price tag on that thing. That'll sell.
$100 is, I don't know, $100 seems like a lot.
Okay, I'm just estimating.
Yeah, because you're going to pay for the set-top box, plus the ability to access the streaming service.
Right. Yeah, I mean, potentially, yeah, it would be a subscription service.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe, I mean, put it $50 then? $50 box, $9, $9.99 a month?
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I think this is a good opportunity. I could be way off, but this is just
I think you are.
This is based on stuff that I've absorbed over the last few weeks.
Right.
This is based on Scuttlebutt. I wouldn't be surprised if this is what they do. Or it could just be a new version of the Elite controller, and it could just be maybe a bundle for the Xbox One.
Right. It could be a bundle. It could just be new hardware updates as well. It could be emphasizing the frame rates, the HFR stuff. The Elites,
yeah,
the Scorpion updates, but we won't know until Gamescom next week.
We won't know until then. But until then, that's it for the Media Boat podcast. We've done it. That's it for the video games segment, which means it's it for the show.
Which means we get to wrap it up, and you get to plug us in.
Let's plug it.
Give me the Glade plug-in.
Yep, our Glade plugins over here.
All right.
If you enjoyed this Media Boat podcast, guess what?
You're a 17-year-old boy.
No.
Oh, you kind of correct.
Yeah. If you enjoyed the Media Boat podcast, we'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. We're here every Wednesday night at Media Boat. Wow. We're every Wednesday night on YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is available via searching Media Boat Podcast on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can subscribe and find us every week. We go live on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific time if you want to check us out there. You can also find the audio version of our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can find RSS feed-driven podcast stores. Just search Media Boat Podcast and you'll find us. Leave us a review on iTunes. That helps us. Helps people find the podcast. We currently have 0 reviews, so any reviews help. You can also find us on the internet at MediaBoatPodcast.com. Our website is where we post posts about our site, about our podcast every week, as well as in the future we'll be back into posting our thoughts about things.
Oh yeah, you keep bugging me about that.
If you're curious at all about our thoughts about stuff that happened in 2017, you can catch up and read all our reviews there. We have an archive of all our thoughts from the past year,
yes.
So check that out if you want to see what we thought about things like Star Wars: The Last Jedi, or Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods, or Avengers: Infinity War. All that stuff and more is on there. Yes, some stuff from this year, I guess I should say too.
Yes,
is all there, and more is set to come. If you want to find us on social media, we're on Twitter at MediaBoatCast. We're on Facebook. Just search Media Boat Podcast and find our page. You can find us also on Patreon.com, where you can help us out with money. You can donate as little as $1 a month to help us out and make this content even better. And make content exclusively for patrons that we don't even know what it is yet because we don't have patrons yet. You be those patrons and tell us what you want, and we'll make it.
Yes, we're gonna switch up the patron tiers. Just make it one tier.
We can figure something out.
Yeah.
Moving on. You can also find us every once in a while streaming video games on twitch.tv/MediaBoat, but there hasn't been a game really to come out to warrant that. Maybe at the end of next month we'll be playing some Madden for you. I bet that'll happen.
Yeah, that'll probably happen.
All right, in the meantime, that'll be it for the Media Boat Podcast. Catch us next week for another proper edition. For now, we're gone.
Yes, we're done. We're gonna have some Mission Impossible for you next week. We have some Kenny Chesney for you.
Your mission
next week,
if you choose to accept it, is to listen to the Media Boat podcast.
Yes, and hopefully this Disney buyout will finally happen, and we'll get some actual news about it. Hopefully,
we'll see.
Maybe we'll see. But in the meantime, thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead, check our archives for more episodes, or if you listen to this in the future, you can check out the next episode right now.
Or whenever. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. All right, YouTube after show. What has the doctor been telling us about sports? Aquaman, Hearts, Spider-Man sounds. Okay, so yes, football is here. As football always will be. As we said, Hall of Fame game is next week. It is the Bears versus the Ravens. A real barn burner next week.
Barn burner.
Yes, that's a Hall of Fame game.
Ooh, snow
I'm a goddess. That's right, the goddess from the Divas.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I'm a goddess. That chick got rocked at WrestleMania. Also, I can't believe I watched the entirety of WrestleMania this year. Guess what? You're probably going to watch it again. I mean, it helps that you were drunk. Or we were all drunk and, like, hungover. Eating like pizzas and crying over it, but yeah, WrestleMania is fun. Like WrestleMania
it's dumb, but it's fun.
It's dumb, but the production they go into that thing is amazing. It's like second to none in terms of production value. Like just for that alone, I'm impressed with it. But yeah, that just goes back into the women's WrestleMania evolution, and that should be well done as well. I think it says it's going to take place in New York on October 28th. I forget what the venue is, but it's some like special like menu that has meaning to WrestleMania. Like where WrestleMania like 2 was there, and a couple other stuff happened. I forget what it's called, but I know that's in New York. I know I saw it. I know I read it. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in for the live stream version of, or if you're watching this, the streaming YouTube version of Media Boat Podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time, 8 p.m. Wednesday nights, and you can count on that. Or, yeah, we don't have anything going on next week.
That's it.
It's not like we're going to have a holiday where...
No, we're not going to miss...
Yeah, like when we missed 4th of July, because it was 4th of July.
4th of July.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.